And it begins 11 p.m. on the dot, as usual. And as usual, welcome to Colby Chandler's Men's Room. I appreciate everybody coming in, watching this. If you see it on YouTube, Facebook Live, or IG. I will be looking at my IG camera, but the Facebook Live is going. So know that if I have people coming on IG, you probably won't be able to see them unless you're on YouTube and you watch the video. So you know how we started? We're going to start the same way with some good music that's not going to get me a copyright infringement. And we're going to give people a couple minutes to come on in. Come on in. Tag your people. Let them know come on in. Because today we're talking about standards. And I'm going to go over standards you should have for yourself. Standards you should have in a relationship. Standards that people are going to have towards you. They're going to want certain things and certain standards from you as men. And because I talk to men, this is about men. I don't know what standards a female is supposed to have. I can only tell them
I'm getting, I'm spinning it. Get on the block and I'm spinning it. Go out the ball and you getting it.
Oh, and if you like this track,
Show that she see my vibe. Hold on my
it's from Cheese Bankroll.
Don't ain't no 9 to 5. How did a young survive?
I think he's in the A
Know
right
that I'm
now.
riding it. Know that I'm riding, I'm sliding it. Know that I got the
We just
pack
did
on
the
me. Know that them don't
block
back on
party
me.
in Worcester.
She know that my
Capadonna was there from
She know that I'm
Wu-Tang.
scared.
That was crazy.
She know that we
If you
coming.
follow me, you've seen the
She know that we
footage.
took it
And I got
Show that
more,
she know that we
which
getting
means
it.
you're
Show
gonna
that
see
she know
more.
that we winning, kid.
We was
Show
out
that she
there,
been around
Breakout was
spinning
out there.
it. Show
I
that
was
she
doing
been
my
around
thing.
bending it. Let's go. Show that yeah, that
It
my
was Juneteenth. It was on
Show they be on her
Juneteenth.
She ride when I get in it. But show that man, she just be
And for
tripping,
those that
man.
don't know what Juneteenth
She working,
is,
she on my line.
Juneteenth
She working out 9 to 5.
is a mix of
You
June
get on my vibe.
19th.
You get on my
It was the
vibe.
day that
She working out 9 to 5.
African Americans and
Show
other
they be
slaves
on
in
my line.
America got their freedom. So that is our Independence Day. 4th of July is America's.
Watching me come on
So
design
it's
it.
1776.
Walk in the morning, I ain't us.
In
Walk in the morning, we
1776,
buying
we
it.
were still slaves.
Show that we on the
So,
vibe.
how could it be our
Couple we on the
Independence
ride. Watching we run this shit. Young Bunny in the club.
Trying to think
Remember
about
was young, couldn't get this. Remember them niggas was faking it. Now my this is making it. Most of them can't relate to this. Remember was young in this. Remember was
Alright,
good
we're
in
gonna start. First off, let me start by saying happy Juneteenth. I know it's been a couple of days, but happy Juneteenth. It was a beautiful Juneteenth. I hope everybody had a blast and did something that was great with the family. Ate some good food, were around some good people, had some good debates, some good discussions. Maybe you learned something. It became a holiday, a federal holiday, I'm hearing. Now, some people have a problem with it because they feel like America's going to capitalize off it. But kind of just is what it is. We wanted it, we got it. Now, some people complaining like they always do. You know, you want something, you complain, but when you don't get it exactly the way you want it, you complain. So, anyway, happy Juneteenth for all the fathers. Happy Father's Day. It was a beautiful Father's Day. I hope you got what you wanted. I hope you had a great day. I came out of work and my car was covered in balloons and ribbons. It was wonderful, wonderful. You know, it was great. I was really happy. I was really happy, and I got the things I wanted. So it worked out. So tonight's show on standards. We going over standards. All right. What standards do you have for yourself? What standards do you have for the people you're around? Say your friends, your associates, your business partners, your family. What standards do you have? What standards do you set? What standards do you require? All right. Now, to require certain standards, fellas, you have to have certain standards. Now, some men come outside wearing whatever they want. Hair looking a mess. Clothes looking a mess. Looks like they ain't brushed their teeth. They ain't washed their face. They ain't put lotion on and none of that. You have to have standards for yourself. Because when you go out the house, you never know who you're going to bump into. And then when people see you, They have a certain standard. You might be walking down the street and you see somebody that you used to know and they not paying attention to you. They act like they don't even see you. Because you don't care about how you look. You have no standard for yourself. So here are some standards you need to have. All right? When you go out, even if you go into the store, make sure you look good. Make sure that your dress and your clothes are clean. Make sure that your hair, you're groomed, your beard's not looking all crazy. It's groomed. Make sure you're looking good. Make sure you smell good. Your skin looks good. It's clean, it's clear, it has lotion on it. You're not just walking out like you just woke up out the bed and you just decided to go outside. That is unacceptable. There should be a standard you have for yourself. There should be a standard that you set every day to get better. And how are you going to get there if you don't set, even if they're minimal standards, even if they're small standards, even if it's just, you know what, I'm going to make sure my clothes are ironed. I'm going to make sure I don't have sleep in my eyes. I'm going to make sure my beard is lined up for those that have beards. I'm going to make sure my hair is not looking crazy. I'm going to make sure there's no stains on my shirt. Okay, because when you bump into people, if you want to be around people of a certain caliber or even regular people, they're going to want to see that you set some type of standard for yourself and you're just not out looking crazy. You have standards for people, correct? When you link up with your peoples to go out, you would be upset if they came out looking crazy because they kind of represent you, correct? If you go out with your peoples, like the saying, you are who you hang with. So if you go out with your peoples and you looking crazy, how do you think that makes them look? Now, if they go out with you and you're looking good and you're clean and you're shaven and you're dressed and they're looking crazy, how do you think that makes you look? It makes you look crazy. So set a standard for yourself. When you go to work, there's a standard. You need to be on time. You need to be in uniform. You need to be groomed. You need to talk a certain way. You need to carry yourself a certain way. They set standards for you and you follow them because they're paying you. So why wouldn't you have standards set for yourself? You're supposed to care about yourself more than you care about, I wouldn't say anybody else, but kind of anybody else. Because if you ain't right, how can you be right for others? You understand me, fellas? Because I see some of y'all coming out and I hear women talk, especially the women that be talking. I hear women talk. They say some of y'all don't even wash yourselves. Like, y'all say it's gay to clean your butt. I do not understand how it is gay to wash yourself properly, but this is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing y'all walking around stinking. You're wearing the same boxers for 3 days. You're wearing the same socks for multiple days. Now, if you do this around women, I can't imagine what you do around your boys. I can't imagine how you are around your boys. That is absolutely crazy. I really wish I could just, I wish I had talked to a couple of females to have them come on and so they could say, because I know y'all, some of y'all don't believe me. I know y'all are like, nah, he's making it up, or they don't be saying that. Listen, they be saying that. They tell me this. Y'all don't wash yourselves. Y'all don't clean y'all clothes. You go outside with clothes that are wrinkled, with stains on them from yesterday, smelling like Loud and Newports. This is what I'm hearing, fellas. So we got to stop this. We have to have standards for ourselves. You need to hold yourself accountable. And I have posted on my timeline that dress how you want people to perceive you. And you know I got a bunch of pushback, mainly from females, saying I should be able to dress this. I should be able to walk down the street naked and nobody say nothing to me. I should be able to wear what I want. Okay, Now, what world do we live in? A should be world or it is world? It is what it is world or it should be world? What world do we live in, y'all? What world do we live in? We live in an it is what it is world. So you say I should be able to, but go ahead and walk down the street ass naked and see what happens. First, you're going to have 50 dudes and 20 women trying to, ooh, and they might try to touch you, and then you're going to get arrested. So get out your should be world. We live in an it is world, and this is what it is. Dress the way you want to be perceived. If you don't want people to treat you like a thug, you don't want people to treat you like a street dude, you don't want people to treat you like you're hood and you're not intelligent, then dress that way. If you walk around with your pants hanging off your ass, excuse me. If you walk around with your pants hanging off your butt, this kind of bothers. It just bothers me because I be seeing like groups of dudes, right? Like there's this picture going around. It's like 5 dudes walking on the beach. They're all in swim shorts, swim trunks, but they're like way below their butts. They swim trunks, bro. You're supposed to swim in those. They looked wet. They looked like they were swimming. So I'm not understanding why your pants ain't pulled up while you're swimming. So what I'm saying is, if you don't want people to perceive you that way, do not dress that way. You can't be walking around every environment dressed like you from the streets and then get mad when people don't hold the door from you, when people cuss their purses, when people don't want to stop and talk to you, when people just dismiss you. They don't want to be around that. And then you say you're intelligent, you're going to school, you're working, but you're walking around looking like that. They're automatically going to assume that you're on the block, you're from the street, you're not working, you're not a man, you're still a boy. In their minds, they like, look at this animal, this thug, this hooligan, and you could be multiple college degrees, articulate speaker. But do you think that really matters when you walk in the door with you wear a large and you got a 2X hoodie on, you wear a size 34 slim and you got a size 38 long, boot cut? Think about on the occasions for those that do put on a suit or slacks or whatever and go out, and you're dressed good and you're in a place, and I'm gonna say it how it is, as a black man, you're in a place with all white people. It's a fancy place, and I've been in a bunch of those places where I was the only black person in there, the only one. All right, and I'm in there, but I'm in slacks and a button up. So I get the door help for me. I get, hey, let me take you right to your table. Oh, you got a reservation? Oh, I knew it was you, right on time. Blah, 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 blah. Now, when I walked in with hoodies and stuff, it was kind of like, can we help you? Which translates to, what are you doing here? The way you look, you should not be here. And I used to think it was, oh, they racist. It's because I'm black. No. I mean, on some occasions it is. Don't get me wrong, fellas. On some occasions it is. But majority of the time, and I'm going to say it just the way it is, to them you look like a nigga. And that's as plain as that's as plain as I can say it. To them, you look like one of the people they see on TV. You know how they stereotype us and they promote the negative videos. You know how when something happens in the hood, they'll have the news reporter do an interview with 10 different people, but they'll pick the crackhead who talking crazy, who's high as hell, who look like they done rolled around and not bathed for 6 months. They put that person on the news. So for people that are not around us, this is how they perceive us. So when you walk in looking like that, you're automatically thrown in that box. Boop, nigga box. You just like them people on TV. Boop. That's exactly what it is. You're thrown in instantly. As soon as you walk in there looking like that with your pants hanging off your ass and your hoodie on and you know your sneakers unlaced and all that, instantly you're thrown in that box. And I realized that when I started dressing different. So when I come on here and talk about certain things, I'm not talking about it because I read it in a book or I listened. I'm not talking about it because I listened to it on a show or something like that. I'm talking about it because I lived it. I'm talking about it because I did it. Like, I'm 35. I was born in 85. So I've been through some stuff, and if you're way older than me and you got some game, I'm always open to it. I want it. But for the people younger than me, for the brothers that are around my age that aren't necessarily doing what they're supposed to do, this is one of the first steps. One of the first steps is your image. Having a standard for yourself, for the people you're around, the people that you call your friends, the people you associate with. Having a standard is one of the first steps. I think the first step is being open to change, knowing you need to change, recognizing your flaws, working on them. But your image is definitely important, especially if you tarnished it growing up. For example, and I will use myself. I used to be out getting money on the street. My hands are nice. I used to not yet listen. I grew up with people that was 5, 8, 10 years older than me. I was always the youngest person, but I was knocking grown men out. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a stepper. If you know what a stepper is, you know what I'm talking about. You know, we go away, we come home, we go away, we come home. We deal with all that. We come home, and then you get to a point where you set a standard for yourself, and you say, you know what? I'm not just a dealer. I'm not just a shooter. I'm not just a fighter. I'm not just a dude from the block. I'm a man. And I'm not disrespecting people that do that. That don't make you less of a man, but I'm using it in a different context. I'm a man. I can be out with my family and not worry about nothing happening to us. I can walk down the street and not worry about the police running up on me. So there's a complete difference when you have that standard for yourself, where you say, I'm no longer going to be what they perceive us to be or what they want us to be or what they see on TV because I'm better than that. I'm more than that. I'm more than that as a man. And then when you put in that work and you start to see them results, you'll fully understand. Once you get that legal swing and you get that legal hustle and you get multiple sources of income legally, it's a whole different hustle. It's a whole different feeling. It's a wonderful feeling to know that you've accomplished something in a positive way, and you did it in a positive way. The money in your hand did what, you'll have some money to do something positive with, but you got it negatively. It's a whole different feeling to get it positively and then do it, do what you want with it. Have fun with it. Save it, invest it, and then have fun with it too. It's a whole different feeling. But your image is one of the most important things you have. Because when you completely ruin it, now with social media and the internet, it makes it hard. Before, you could ruin your image in your city and then move to another one. And then hopefully nobody from your city talks to anybody in that city and you're good. Now, your mess ups be all over, all online. So everybody sees your mess ups. They see what's going on. So now your image is important. Especially now, it's extremely important. How you dress, how you walk, how you talk, who you associate with, what you do for a living. I don't care if you're working at McDonald's. You got a job that you don't got to worry about going to jail for. So your image is very important. Making sure you look good, making sure you're clean. I got to reiterate that because I don't know why I got to tell grown men, and I'm talking to men because I'm not going to tell women whatever. I'm talking to men. Wash your butt. I don't want to be swearing on here because I don't know all the stipulations. I don't know if I could say arse on here, but wash yourself. Alright, It's not gay to clean your butt. I'm telling you this. Anybody know? Listen, y'all know how I rock. It is not gay to clean your butt. Alright? It is something you need to do. Use the scrubby. Alright? And for those that's not using washcloths, at least use a damn washcloth. You can't just take the soap bar and go like this. And what? That is not what you do. But your image, like I said, if you're gonna wear jeans, like I still wear my jeans and my t-shirts and stuff, but my t-shirts are usually fitted. My jeans are fitted. I usually got my shirt tucked in because I got nice belts and I like to, wear my belts. Plus, I don't want to look like everybody else. People wear fitted clothes. So this is my image. This is my standard for myself. We not going to wear baggy jeans. We not buying Adidas's, Nikes, and Jordans and all that. We buying sneakers from Thursdays and names we ain't never heard of that are Italian because the sneakers are Italian leather. And guess what? They plain. Just plain ass white shoes. Plain black. Plain brown. Italian leather. You know why? Because my image is very important to me. And I know from talking to people of all races, from talking to people of all ages, that when I walk in, regardless of how clean my Jordans are, regardless of how fitted my clothes are, I'm still wearing Jordans and a fitted hat. To them, I'm just a flyer nigga with money. That's what they see. They say, oh, he must be a rapper. Oh, he must be an entertainer. Oh, he must be an athlete. That's what they say when you walk in like that. So this is why I wear plain sneakers. I wear fitted jeans. And when I got a t-shirt, it's usually something from my line. This was our Juneteenth shirt, all right? This was Breakout Juneteenth shirt. You see on the back, Breakout. That's what I do. All right, so if I'm wearing it, it's usually mine. So my image is, all right, the man wears slacks, he wears fitted pants, he might be in a button-up. If he got a t-shirt on, it's from his clothing line, he's promoting his business. So when I come out dressed, my image, the standard I have for myself is I need to look like a grown man. I need to be clean. I need to smell great. And I don't mean the little Walgreens stuff. Even though you can, because you can get Gucci and Dolce and YSL and Burberry. You get all that stuff at CVS and stuff now. So let me rephrase that. You have to invest in your image, which means you have to work. So I'm going to get there in a second. You have to invest in your image. So like I said, have a standard for yourself, which means you're going to have to put some money into that image. You're going to have to invest in dressing better. Because that is a standard you should have for yourself, and that is a standard people are going to have for you. They're going to ask, why is he not dressed right? Especially if you want to be around people that are doing better in life. Your goal in life should be, your circle of friends should be people that are doing as well as you or better. Because like I said earlier, you are who you hang with. So if you hang around people who say, let's say you making $50,000, $60,000 a year, that makes you average. But you hanging around people that make $20,000 a year, making $50,000 a year, you really can't even do a lot. So imagine explaining the stuff you're doing to somebody who makes less than half of what you make. It's like when people that make $500,000 a year, we don't understand what they be talking about. Or the clothes they buy, oh yeah, I spent $500 on these sunglasses and lost them, so I went and grabbed another pair. We like, that's almost a whole week paycheck. Like, you just spent $1,000 on 2 pairs of sunglasses. Like I worked 4 days for that. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. Like, it's an image. It's a standard. Excuse me, not an image. It's a standard. It's a standard that they have for themselves. And successful people know how important their image is. Why do you think there were so many successful people that get up at 4:30 in the morning to get dressed and don't get out the house till 6:37? Because they have a standard, and they're not going to walk out their house until they have reach that standard, till they have got to exactly where they need to be, because they're not walking out until they meet their standard. Because they know when people look at them, they're going to have a standard for them. So again, fellas, your image is extremely important. It is one of the main, it should be so, let me change that. It should be one of your main priorities. It should be so important that when you lay in bed to go to sleep, you're thinking about it. What can I do to make my image better? What standards should I have for myself? Are my standards good enough for where I'm trying to be? Or do I need to advance them? Do I need to add on to those and level them up? Do I need to upgrade them? Are they enough? Are you getting the results that you want? So like I said, you go to work, they got a standard for you to be on time, for you to dress in uniform, for you to look a certain way, for you to talk a certain way. So if you can listen to a standard of somebody you don't even know, and don't be like, oh, well, because they paying me. It don't matter. They don't know you. You don't know them. But you're willing to just meet their standards. You're willing to meet their standards, but you don't have standards for yourself. That's crazy. And you know that's crazy. So set those standards for yourself. You get a little older, fellas. If you don't already have kids, you're going to have kids. And if you do have kids, you're going to understand what I'm saying. They have standards for you. You're going to have standards for them. Of course, you need to clean up after yourselves, when they get a little older. You need to clean up after yourselves. You need to take care of your schoolwork. You need to talk a certain way. You need to carry yourself a certain way. But if they're looking at you and you don't have standards for yourself, how can you be on top of them about not meeting the standards you set for them? You're going to be in relationships, and a woman's going to have a standard she wants you to be able to meet. Now, majority of them want you to pay the bills. Somebody breaks in the house, it's your job to protect. It's your job to be gentle and open and listen and comforting, and so many. There's so many of them, and I'm a man, so I can't tell you all this. We have certain standards. We don't want to come home and argue. You don't want an overweight woman. You don't want a woman that talks like a dude. And it's okay to have those standards, so you don't get walked on, so you don't get walked all over. And I try to tell fellas, it's okay to have standards. As long as you have standards for yourself and you're willing to put in the work to meet those standards, it's okay for you to have standards for other people. It's okay for you to want a certain thing. It's okay for you to say if you cannot meet those standards. And this isn't any type of relationship. This is even with friends. If you can't meet the standards that I set, then, it's all love, but, I'm going to have to step back a little bit. And that's okay. Some people are so afraid of losing people that they're afraid to speak on their standards. And usually when you're afraid to do that, you don't have standards for yourself. So the priority and the main thing, the important thing is to have these standards for yourself. Set these standards and meet these standards every day. They're like goals that you need to obtain. So every day you set these standards and you meet these standards. You don't sit around and procrastinate and waste time and not handle your business. You need to handle your business. You need to be able. Hold on, something's going on outside. It's distracting me. Anyway, my bad. I lost my train of thought real quick. Okay, it's all right to have these standards. Like I was saying, people are afraid to have standards because they don't have these standards for themselves. You have to set these standards and meet these standards every day. And as you grow, you have to set larger standards. You have to set standards that are going to take more work. You may have a standard where I shave once a week. But as you get out there more and you're doing more because you set higher standards for yourself, and setting higher standards for yourself is going to help you achieve more things. You're going to want to look different. You're going to want to look better. You're not going to want to have that little scrub. So you'll set a new standard. You know what? I'm going to shave twice a week. 3 times. As soon as I see it, I'm going to shave it off. That is a standard you're setting for yourself. They could be small things. It could be, I only brush my teeth in the morning when I wake up. I'm going to make sure I brush my teeth at night too and floss. It's a small standard, but all the small standards are extremely important because it's the small standards that help you achieve your larger standards. If your standard is, I want to make sure that I look good every day, I want to make sure that I smell good every day, then, brushing your teeth, taking care of your hair, grooming yourself, putting grease in your hair, putting lotion on, putting cologne on, putting good smelling Vaseline men's lotion on. This stuff's great. Putting good smelling deodorant on. Those are all small standards that help you achieve a larger one. Okay? I was saying you need to invest in yourself. You need to set some type of standard for your brain. Some type of standard that says, you know what, I'm going to learn something new. I'm going to learn a new skill every month. I tell brothers, if you're watching this video on YouTube right now, then you should be in YouTube Academy. Classes are enrolled every day, every minute. You can go to whatever class you want. Pick the skill, pick the degree you want. It won't be on paper, it'll be up here. The lesson's free. Join YouTube Academy, where everyone can be a winner. All right? You learn stuff on you. Listen, like I said in one of my other videos, one of my other lessons, I learned how to fix my car. Brakes, rotors, calipers, fan belts, spark plugs, distributor caps. I'm learning a whole bunch of stuff. I'm about to learn how to do the axle and a control arm and all that. Yeah. All right? YouTube Academy. I learned how to be a mechanic in a month. In a month. I bought a hoopty and said, you bought it cash because I don't want to pay. And I said, you know what? I'm going to fix this up myself. I'm not taking this to my mechanic. And went on YouTube Academy, went about the tools, and did it myself. Did everything myself. All right? YouTube Academy is a wonderful place for you to learn and invest in yourself. And I don't mean financial. You're going to invest time. And time is very expensive. When you start making money, you'll understand how expensive and how important your time is. You go to YouTube Academy and you invest that time in yourself to better yourself. You invest that time in yourself to get better. You invest that time in yourself because where you at, that standard you got right now ain't good enough for you because you better than that. You're better than that. You can do better and you know you can do better. If you've been procrastinating, you know what it is. Every day you sit there and say, you know, I can do it tomorrow. You know you said that every day for the last month. I try to keep this phrase in my head. Why do tomorrow what you can do today? I know it's not that deep. But it's something that when you're about to procrastinate, you say, why do tomorrow what I can do today? If you bang out all the things you got on your mind, because I write them down, I need a list. That's how I get through my stuff. And if you know that works for you, you know you got to do that. If you don't remember what you need to do, so you always forget, and it's like the next day or the last minute, you're like, oh, write it down. It'll help you get right through that list. That's what I do. I say I set those standards for myself. I have to accomplish this much. So I might put Tuesday, 7 a.m. do this, 8:30 a.m. do this. Now, if that's what you have to do, that's what you have to do to handle your business. So that's fine. Write it down. Some people put it in their phone. However you do it, just remember to do it. Okay, remember to handle this list of things that you need to do and get them done. Stop procrastinating. If you're a procrastinator, you know you're a procrastinator. And like I was just saying, why do tomorrow what you can do today? If you handle everything today that you need to handle instead of waiting until tomorrow you can handle some other stuff. That's how you get a whole bunch of stuff accomplished. If you wait on getting everything accomplished, you're going to have a crazy list of things you need to do and not enough time to do them. So write it down and get them done. All right? Why do tomorrow what you can do today? Now, when you get into that relationship, and we're going to talk about these relationship standards, like I was saying, you're going to be expected to act a certain way. You're going to be expected to do certain things. And that is going to be your part, depending on your partner's standards. Now, I always go back to the standards that you set for yourself. If you set good enough standards for yourself, then more than likely your partner won't have too many standards because you're already meeting the majority of the standards, if not all of the standards you need to meet as a man. Provide and protect. A lot of stuff falls under provide and protect. I'm not going to go through scenarios and examples. You know what provide means. You know what protect means. Now, you might be in a relationship where your standard is, we're going to go 50-50. I'll cook, you cook, I'll clean, you clean. But if that works for you, that works for you. You're allowed to have that standard. You know, if it works for you, it works for you. Majority of women, especially when they have children, are not going to want to pay 50-50 on the bills. I tell you guys, we have to set ourselves up to where we can just pay for everything. 100% of the bills, 100% of everything. You take care of yourself, you take care of your woman, you take care of your children. Because you need to have that abundance mindset. The standards you set for yourself should have you in a position where you can do that. And it's gonna take time. That's why when you talk to the older brothers and they give you advice on that, they say that you shouldn't be in a serious relationship or think about kids and get married till you're like 35. Because you need time to build yourself to where you can be that man, to where you can take care of everything, provide and protect. That means home, cars, food, clothes, stability. When you can provide stability, I believe that's when you can truly call yourself a man. Now, you're always going to be a male. And I'm not saying that you're not a man if you can't provide for your family, if you don't have a family. If you are a single man or you just got a girl, it's all right. You have to work to get to that point. And like I said, it's going to take you some time. You might start thinking about it at 35. Like, you know what? I'm getting there. I'm getting to where I can handle that. And then, you know, you pick the woman you want or the women you want, and you have babies that you can take care of. That is the main goal, because she's going to have those standards. Now, like I said, there are women that are going to have that 50-50 standard, and you're cool with that. Maybe your standard is, you know, it's not my job to take care of everything. It's my job to take care of my half. But wouldn't you want to be in a position to where you could take care of everything? If you can take care of everything and you set that standard for yourself to where you can take care of everything, then that means you're doing good in life. That means that you work to where you're doing great in life. So why wouldn't you want to be there? That's my question. For the brothers that are watching this, for the men that are watching this, they're like, yeah, I'm not paying for everything. Yeah, I ain't no simp. I ain't no trick. I don't even, to each his own. To each his own. But in my personal opinion, I feel like you should get yourself to a position to where you can take care of everything. Because if you can take care of everything, you're in a good position. And why wouldn't you want to be in a good position? Even if you don't take care of everything, set yourself up to where you can if you need to. So I be watching certain podcasts, right? And I was watching Kevin for a little while, Kevin Samuels for a little while, but he kind of went to the left. He got a little aggressive, a little aggressive and dismissive, and he was always brutal, but it was the truth. So it never fazed me. It was the truth. You're like, you know what? You do weigh more than a linebacker. You know what? You shouldn't weigh that much at your height. You know what? You do weigh more than a man who's 5 inches taller than you. It is what it is. But when you started hanging up on him, calling him B words and all that stuff, it was like, all right, Kev, you got a little cocky, bro. That 900 and what was it at when I was watching it the other night? So I clicked it. It was at like 980,000 subscribers. I was like, okay, player. You got a little bankroll and got some people under you. Now you got a little cocky. It is what it is. But there's these other podcasts I watch, and they'll have multiple female guests on. Say, sometimes 10, sometimes 6, sometimes 4, but it's always a lot. And they do this podcast almost every night. It's probably on right now. They do it every night, and they'll have females come on. And if you watch Kevin, we're going to go back to Kevin real quick. If you watch Kevin, they call in and say, I want a man that makes $100,000. At least 6 figures a year. And then he would be like, okay, but do you qualify? What is your height? What is your dress size? And the answers they would give don't match what they want. Because you get hit with the statistics. If it's 10%, and I believe it's like 10% of all Americans, men, women, gay, straight, make over $100,000 a year. But even if it's just men, let's say it's just the men. If all the women we hear from, and this is on the other podcast as well, all of them are saying, and this one girl said, I need a man that make $500,000 a year. She was an OnlyFans chick. But majority of them said, I want a man that makes, over 6 figures, over 80K, stuff like that. Now, over 80K is like 15%, and then over 100 is like 10%. So if majority of the females are all saying the same thing, they have this crazy standard. And even if they are delusional, which majority of them are, even if they are delusional, it's their standard. And as crazy as it is, you have to respect people's standards. Just like I say to men, a woman can say, I want a man that makes $100,000 a year, 6 feet tall, looks like he's in the gym every day, is faithful, empathetic, sympathetic, and treats me great, all that stuff. They can want that. That's their standard. And you're allowed to have your standards as well. You're allowed to speak on them and not feel like you're being misogynistic, to not feel like you're body shaming, to not feel like none of that. You know why? Because why can y'all wallet shame? Why when a man says, I'm not attracted to a woman that is masculine like that, y'all say, oh, you must got a little... why is it okay for them to be like, oh, he's fat? But when you be like, listen, you're just a little overweight. Oh my God, you're body shaming. No, I'm not. I'm not lying. Body shaming is, say you're born with a cleft lip and I make fun of it. Say you're born with webbing between your hands and I make fun of it. Say you don't have a leg and I make fun of it. That is body shaming. I just read it. Who called me about to say body shaming? What up, B? That's body shaming. If you have a physical handicap that is body shaming. If I make fun of it, that is body shaming. If you are obese and I tell you you are obese, that is not body shaming. I'm just letting you know a fact that your doctor told you last time you saw him. And why is it okay for everybody else to have, why is it okay for certain people to have standards, but we can't have standards? Why can certain people have standards? I don't understand that. Why is it okay for them to be like, you short, fat, little nigga, and all that? But when we be like, you're way more than a linebacker, or we don't want you being like, yo, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I wanted to date a dude, I'd date a dude. You see what I'm saying? And those conversations are crazy. That's not what we talk. I was about to just keep going and going, because that is going to be a show for another night. That is going to be a show for another night. But tonight, we're just going to keep it with standards. Like I was saying, it's all right to have standards, fellas. It's all right to know what you want and to speak on what you want. As long as you have standards for yourself and you're working to achieve and obtain everything that you're putting out there, because some of us don't deserve, and I'm going to keep it a buck, some of us don't deserve to get some of the stuff that we have. Some of the standards we have, we don't deserve to have those standards. If you're making 25 and I have to be careful what I say, because Kev did make a valid point. He said, how come the Mexican husband can come over here, be standing in front of Home Depot, and his woman still act right because he got standards? So I can't even say that. But you know what I'm gonna say, because this is how I feel. All right, you can't be making $20,000 a year and telling the person you're in a relationship with, I need you to cook, clean, I need you to be in shape, I need you to be feminine, I need you to do all these things when you're not doing your job. You can't ask somebody to do their job when you're not doing your job. You can't have these crazy standards if you're not willing to work on yourself and achieve your standards. And if your standards aren't high enough and you're in a relationship with somebody who has higher standards, and you're not willing to meet those standards, you can't give that person all these crazy standards. So I'm going to say that immediately. I'm going to just put that out there. So if you're watching this on YouTube, or you're watching this live right now, but most people are going to be watching this on YouTube. When you watch this on YouTube, remember I'm saying this. You can have standards, fellas. It's okay for you to speak on your standards. It's okay for you to say, listen, if you're not doing this, if this ain't happening, I'm gone. It's okay. Because she's going to have standards too. But if you're not willing to work on being, as what I define as a man that protects and provides, you can't have all those crazy standards. Now, some of us might not know how to do it. Some of us might not be able to do it right now. But you got to be working on it. You can't be sitting around comfortable with that minimal mindset, not doing nothing because you like, I can't afford it. I can't afford it. Have a higher standard for yourself and say, how can I afford it? Have a higher standard for yourself and say, how can I achieve this? What do I need to do? How do I work on myself? What work do I need to put on to get there? What work do I need to put on to achieve this? What do I need to do? And then figure it out. So again, fellas, work's going to have standards for you. Your kids are going to have standards. The world is going to have standards. When you go out to eat at a restaurant, you got standards. When you go out and you spend good money somewhere, you have a standard. So what I'm saying is there's standards everywhere. You know how you hear people that say, you know, I'm not living up to this, or I'm not doing that, or, you know, the people accept me for who I am. That's BS. This world coddles people. People are not accepting you the way you think they accept you. They talk behind your back. And for some reason, I don't know if it's I have a friendly face, but people like to talk to me. So trust me, people be talking behind people's backs. Like it's ridiculous. It's like, yo, I just met you today. You're telling me about such and such and such. Like, people like to talk behind people's back. So if you don't have a standard set for yourself, and you're going out like whatever, and you think people aren't talking about you, you're crazy. If you think people aren't looking at you and making weird comments, or looking at you and thinking something in their head, you're crazy. Just because people aren't saying it to you, because this world's on some soft cancel culture, don't shame and don't blah, blah, all that weak minded stuff that this world's going through right now, because everybody wants to be fragile. They still please believe them thoughts is going through their head. Like I said, when you walking around with your pants hanging down and you got a big 2X shirt on and you should be in a medium, people are like, you a thug. And please believe it. They might not say it to your face, but look at their actions. Look at their actions. Wear a suit one day and be around people. And see how they talk about the people that walk by dressed the way you usually dress. See how differently people treat you when you put on a suit and you walk out and you're in public. When you're clean shaven and looking good, smelling good. When you have a standard for yourself, when you set a standard for yourself and you put in the work to reach that standard, it's completely different. But you have to be willing to put in that work. You have to be able to get to where you're trying to go. And you have to be going somewhere. Staying stagnant with no goals is not the wave. It is not the move. It is not attractive. It does not make you look good. And I don't just mean to females. It don't make you look good to anybody. You think that other men don't look at men and judge them? Be like, yo, he look like a bum. Or see you talking to a girl and then go take your girl because you look like a bum? Because you don't care about yourself? Because you don't have no standards? And I'm not talking about... I know sometimes people be in bad places. I'm not talking about if you in a bad place right now. You're like, damn, Colby, like you're really going in and I'm just in a bad situation right now. If you're in that place, you should be working to get out of that place. So get that notebook, get that pen, start writing down those steps. Change your standards. Because if you're sitting in a dirty room and you're just sitting there doing nothing, playing games and stuff, your standards are not high enough. The standards that you set for yourself should be all the way up here. They should be higher than the standards that people around you are setting. If your spouse or the people around you have higher standards for you than you do of yourself, that's crazy. And you need to reevaluate some things. Some people will come on here and sugarcoat things for you. I will never be that guy. I will always say it straight how it is. If you listen, and I'm going to get some statistics for you. I'm going to get some numbers for you because I'm a numbers guy. So when I hear numbers, it's easier for me to register things. I'm good. Like the percentages and all that, that's how I can really register things. But fellas, when I get the numbers of women that want men in a certain tax bracket and say they won't deal with a man who's in a lesser tax bracket, it's going to make you want to level up. When I tell you how other men look at you and how they laugh and the statistics of how they treat men in a lower level, or how people look at men on a lower level, men that don't take the time to make sure they look good, men that don't take the time to make sure they smell good, men that don't take the time to better themselves. When I let you know some of the things, because I'm going to have some talks with people, when I let you know some of the things that they say, it's going to make you want to level up. I need you to look at your situation right now. I need you to look at your situation right now. Are you where you want to be? Have you set high enough standards for yourself? Are you where you thought you would be at this age when you was a child or a teenager? If not, you need to put in that work to get to where you wanted to be, to where you hoped you'd be, to where you envisioned yourself being. You need to put in that work, and you need to start it now. You need to write down a list of all the things that are messed up in your life, and dissect them one by one. This is the problem. These are the ways to fix it. This is another problem. These are the steps I need to take to fix it. This is another problem. These are the steps I need to take to fix it. And then put in that work and take those steps. Now, the standard. So let's just say and I went over this earlier. The standard I have just for myself on my image. I do not like to see no hairs coming out of my face or beard. As soon as I make a video or hit record and I see it, I'm like, oh man, I gotta go shave. I'm at the point where I don't want nobody to see me when I'm down. I don't want nobody to see me when I'm not fresh. When I walk to the store, I'm fresh. I smell good. I look good. I go to work and I sweat at work. And I still put cologne on in the morning. When I walk in, I smell like Dolce. I don't care. But because when you see me, when you're around me, you're going to be like, yo, he cares. He puts in that effort. When you see me dressed and I got a t-shirt and jeans on, but my t-shirt's tucked in and my pants are fitted and my sneakers are plain, they're not crazy, they're Italian leather, but they're simple, you're going to be like, okay, he's grown. He's a grown man. He's not no thug. He ain't no street. He's a man. He ain't hood. And when I choose to, because I used to always say it, and I took pride in being the best of both worlds, I used to say I could put on a suit and be involved and have conversations and socialize with the best of them, but I can also put on a hoodie and get to it. So having those skills have helped me in life because I always knew that I wanted to be something. And fellas, some of us mess up. Some of us make mistakes, but you got to recognize them and fix them. So you have to set a better standard for yourself. The standard that we have for ourselves as men is not high enough right now. The things I'm hearing about us, the way people are talking about us, I can't even say people, the way women be talking about us, our standards is way too low right now. Our standards for ourselves, and by looking at these women out here, our standards for the people that are supposed to be our mates is way too low. So the standards for ourselves is too low. The standards for our women are too low. The standards is just too low, period. And as leaders, because we supposed to be the leaders, we need to bring our standards up so everybody around us will bring their standards up. And my voice got loud. I apologize. Yo, my voice, when I'm passionate about something, I get loud. I get aggressive. Like, fellas, what are we doing, fellas? Our standards are too low. Our standards for ourselves are too low. Because as leaders, if we get our standards higher, everybody around us will follow. So again, it's always a beautiful thing to have standards for yourself. I mean, it's always cool to have standards for others, but it's way more important to have standards for yourself. It's way more important to have these standards, and it's way more important to obtain and reach and meet those levels that you're trying to get to. You set these standards and you meet them, then you set new standards and you go a little higher. You set new standards and you keep building. But until you reach those standards, you put in that work. Stop being lazy. Stop being procrastinating. Stop procrastinating. And I think I'm done for the night, y'all. I think I am done for the night. I've been talking to y'all for an hour straight. So I think I'm done for the night. Yeah, it was a good men's room, man. Good talk. Good talk. I hope y'all learned something. I'll see y'all next Tuesday. Again, every Tuesday night at 11 p.m. on Instagram at Mr. Breakout will be Men's Room Live. Some weeks we will have guests come on. Some weeks I'm just going to talk to you. It is what it is. It will be on YouTube at Colby Chandler Men's Room. So what did I just go over? Facebook Live as well. Every Tuesday night, 11 p.m. on the Colby Mr. Breakout page. COLBY Mr. Breakout. We're doing Facebook Live. IG's at Mr. Breakout. We're doing IG Live. And then again on YouTube, it's Colby Chandler Men's Room. Every Tuesday night at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. On the dot. Y'all have a good night, and I will see you next Tuesday.
Now I'm on boss, bitch. Watching my motion. Got on my knees and running. Got on my
I think I'm gonna respond to some of these comments on my live.
Don't faking this. Hold on my street. Most of you riding the street with me. Whole lot of box going on, baby. You need to calm that
Okay.
I'm a leader, I ain't no follower, you heard? You gonna work for the man, but the man gonna work for me. We're gonna be together and get all that, don't worry. Play your part.
Alright, I'm out of here. Y'all have a good night. When we finishing, alright, we done. Oh, that was Facebook. Let me end this IG Live. Hey, I'll see y'all next Tuesday.